in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is over-glorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
I feel there's a lot to be learned from that. And we all had the pleasure, I hope, last night of watching Shin Spin Fire. And for those of you that hung out a little bit later, you got to see me spin poi for the first time. Not very well, but I have all my hair still. I like this photo in particular. This is an artist, Laura Kimpton, that makes these wonderful sculptures. They're all little doves. But this photo was taken by a dear friend of mine, Peter Rubrick. Peter had been a McKinsey banker, successful sort of person in his business world, but he was also an artist, a photographer, and 7 years ago he decided to leave the world of business entirely, drop everything he was doing just to pursue his creative passions fully. But 7 years of that, when you're not making much money, you start to question, what it is that you got going on. And so he was out at the trash fence at Burning Man and having a moment related to his family, and was just kind of asking the universe, show me a sign. Am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Doubt was creeping into his mind, and in that moment, the clouds parted and the sun sort of emerged in the way that you see, and he's like, wow, that's beautiful. He jumped on his SpaceX souped-up bicycle, which goes 50 miles an hour, as fast as you could get to something where the light was shining. And it took him to this, the believe. He's, wow, look at this beautiful photo. The sun is perfect. I'm catching it at sunrise. But I need more of a sign. Am I doing the right thing? And the moment he has that thought, a double-decker car drives up along this sculpture, and the people start getting off one by one on the top and start forming this pose, and the car drives off. There's no music. They're not dancing, they're just holding a pose, and he's like, wow, who's this photographer that orchestrated this? They're amazing. And I can't take the shot, it's someone else's. He's looking around for the photographer. What are these people all doing here? And there's no photographer. He's like, is this for me? He's like, I guess I'll take the shot. He takes the shot. Within a moment, the bus comes back. He didn't even have time to take 2 photos. The people get on and they drive off. It's a beautiful story for me, because the signs are all there. I like talking about this because I think it's important, especially with all of the economic success most of us have been having. Money has a way of changing people, and it's not always for the better. And so I like talking about this new definition of a billionaire. To me, a billionaire is not someone with $1 billion. A unicorn isn't a $1 billion company. A billionaire to me is someone that's positively changed the lives of 1 billion people. Not to say that money is a bad thing, but it's about what you do. It's not about what you have. It's about what you give, not what you get. It's changing that narrative, and this is the sort of thing that we need today. And this is, as we talk about open source and that we all benefit from the things that others do, it's moving away from that, the selfish, taking care of myself first and starting to think about those around you and what you can do for them, and to go from this world of me, to a world of we. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has. Puerto Rico, I think, was the theme of the talk, so I should cover that for a moment. I moved to Puerto Rico. I started going to Puerto Rico as a teenager, but then and my passcode on my debit cards and my phones and things back when they were 4 digits. This wouldn't help you today. The mnemonic I used for my passcode my entire life was 1492. It was a Columbus sailing the ocean blue mnemonic. But I think a lot of life and what I do, one of my superpowers is I'm a storyteller, obviously. But I'm also very good at connecting dots. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever you choose to believe. But you want to believe something. And so Puerto Rico has a lot of issues. And so I moved there following the hurricane because I said, where can I make a difference in the world? Where can I make an impact? Where is my time needed? Not that they need my or our help. They can do this on their own, but as we all learn in life, help's not a bad thing. Maybe when we're young, we want to do it all on our own, but as we get a little bit older, we realize help is a good thing. We like support. We want to do it together. But Puerto Rico's got one of the biggest of all their problems is that they had 3.5 million people, and now they have less than 3 million people. And if you study economics, population decline is, a very big problem for an economy. This isn't just a population in decline. They lost nearly 20% of the population of the island, and it wasn't just any 20%. It was the 20% with the means to leave. Those that possess the intellectual capital, the human capital, the financial capital. These are the sorts of things that are huge problems, and there's no startups there that have raised venture capital. If you're a young kid going to college and you're about to graduate, if you want to have an opportunity to fulfill your dreams or do something amazing, for the most part, you had to leave. And so not only did you lose all the people with the means, you continually are losing all of those people that are being equipped to do something. And so this is a brain drain. And the only way you can, combat a brain drain is with a brain gain. It's people like us moving there with the intention to make a difference. It's creating the jobs and the economic opportunity for those college kids. So the next Restart Week is May 11th to the 18th. We also have Restart X in New York on May 18th. We're doing events in both places, but it's on the west coast of the island in Mayagüez. So on the west coast of Puerto Rico, the largest city is Mayagüez with nearly 100,000 people, but 20,000 of whom are college students. 20% of the population of this city are college students that couldn't, do much following school if they wanted to do something entrepreneurially. One of the things we could do is we can bring the venture funds, we can bring the angel investors, the mentors, the advisors, the startups, the accelerators, the co-working facilities, the content, all the things, and we can do that with a small group of us. We possess all of those things ourselves. And that can make a very, very big impact for those 20,000 young people that are the next generation when you start thinking 10 years out. The goal there, as much as possible, is to build a city of the future. But you need a small case study. 100,000 people is a small enough place where we can make a material impact. It has the raw ingredients of 20,000 young, ambitious people excited to go make a difference in the world. They just need the opportunity. And so I hope at some point, you find the time to come down and check it out. It's a beautiful place. Back to the idea of money. I have this idea, hopefully someone does it, or maybe one day I get around to it. But it's to take the Forbes 400 list and to reorganize it based upon what they give. Not to criticize anyone. The goal is not to criticize anyone. You know, it's being part of the solution, not part of the problem. But to reorganize it based upon what they give. Not because having money is a bad thing. It's to say you've mastered the game of compounding interest. Congratulations. You've crushed it. You've mastered the game of compounding interest. It's just to explain that there's another game that you can play. And that's the game of compounding impact. And you do that and encourage people by teaching them and showing them the way, not criticizing them. And so, yeah, Puerto Rico's interesting. Old San Juan is one of the 3 corners of the Bermuda Triangle. It is where Christopher Columbus set up shop originally. And so when you think about Europe's influence on all of North and South America, it all really began in Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico in many ways was the first state, but isn't the 51st state. It's somehow become the forgotten state. And as I like to say, Puerto Rico has a PR problem. So let's help put them back on the map. And I'll close out with some Stephen Hawking. Now, this is a man who more or less lost everything. Every ability, down to almost nothing. You would say there's no way that this person is going to accomplish anything with their life and their condition. That might have been my battery in my computer going. Well, I was going to close out on a Stephen Hawking's speech, but I think it kind of says it all anyway. Look at what he went on to accomplish. He died on Pi Day. He died on March 14th, so Stephen's left the world recently, but what an inspiration. Down to nothing, and continued to research and provide us with knowledge that is immensely valuable. And what that says to all of us is, if he can do that, you can do anything. Thank you.